Most people assume that if a food is labeled healthy, it must be good for them at any age. But here is something that might surprise you. Most people assume that if a food is labeled healthy, it must be good for them at any age. But here is something that might surprise you. Some of the most commonly recommended healthy foods can actually do more harm than good once you cross 60. And the dangerous part is that these foods are often eaten every single day without a second thought. As your body ages, everything changes. Your metabolism slows down. Your digestive system becomes more sensitive. Your blood sugar control is not as efficient as it used to be. Even the way your body handles nutrients shifts. That means foods that were once harmless or even beneficial can start creating hidden problems. Fatigue, inflammation, joint pain, digestive discomfort, and even increased risk of chronic diseases. And today, we are going to uncover 3 healthy foods that many seniors continue eating, believing they are making the right choice, when in reality, they could be quietly damaging their health. Let's start with the first one, whole wheat bread. For years, whole wheat bread has been marketed as a healthier alternative to white bread. And in some cases, it is. It contains more fiber and slightly more nutrients. But here's the problem. Whole wheat bread can still cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, especially in older adults. As you age, your body becomes less sensitive to insulin. This means your blood sugar levels can rise more quickly and stay elevated for longer periods. Whole wheat bread, despite its healthy label, still breaks down into glucose very quickly. This leads to energy crashes, increased hunger, and over time can contribute to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Another issue is digestion. Many seniors develop a sensitivity to gluten, even if they never had problems earlier in life. This can lead to bloating, gas, and inflammation. Some people also experience joint stiffness and fatigue linked to gluten sensitivity. Instead of relying on whole wheat bread as a daily staple, consider alternatives that have a lower impact on blood sugar. Foods like oats, quinoa, or even sourdough made through traditional fermentation can be easier to digest and gentler on your system. Now let's move to the second healthy food, fruit juice. This one surprises a lot of people. Fruit is healthy, so fruit juice must be healthy too, right? Not exactly. When you drink fruit juice, you are removing most of the fiber that slows down sugar absorption. What you are left with is a concentrated source of natural sugars that hit your bloodstream very quickly. For seniors, this can lead to sharp spikes in blood sugar followed by sudden drops, causing fatigue, dizziness, and cravings. Even juices labeled as 100% natural or no added sugar can contain as much sugar as soft drinks, and because it is liquid, it does not make you feel as full as eating whole fruit. This means you can consume a large amount of sugar without realizing it. There is also the impact on dental health. High sugar content combined with frequent sipping can increase the risk of tooth decay, which is already a concern for many older adults. A much better option is to eat whole fruits instead. The fiber helps regulate sugar absorption, keeps you full longer, and supports digestive health. If you enjoy juice, try diluting it with water or limiting it to small portions rather than making it a daily habit. Now let's talk about the third food, low-fat flavored yogurt. This one is often seen as the perfect healthy snack. It is marketed as low in fat, rich in calcium, and good for digestion. But the reality is more complicated. When manufacturers remove fat from yogurt, they often add sugar to improve the taste. Many flavored yogurts contain high amounts of added sugar, sometimes more than a dessert. For seniors, this can contribute to blood sugar spikes, weight gain, and increased inflammation. Another issue is that fat is not the enemy, especially as you age. Healthy fats are important for brain function, hormone production, and nutrient absorption. By choosing low-fat versions, you may be missing out on these benefits. There is also the question of gut health. While yogurt does contain probiotics, not all products are created equal. Some have very low levels of beneficial bacteria, especially after processing and storage. Others include additives and artificial flavors that can irritate the digestive system. A better choice is plain full-fat yogurt with no added sugar. You can add your own natural sweetness with fresh fruit or a small amount of honey. This way you control what goes into your body and avoid unnecessary additives. Now, here is the key message. It is not about labeling foods as good or bad. It is about understanding how your body responds to them at this stage of life. What worked in your 30s or 40s may not work the same way in your 60s or beyond. Your body is asking for balance, stable blood sugar, gentle digestion, nutrient-dense foods, and fewer hidden additives. When you start paying attention to these factors, you can make smarter choices without falling into the trap of misleading healthy labels. And there is something empowering about this. You do not need complicated diets or extreme restrictions. Small, informed changes can have a big impact. Imagine waking up with steady energy instead of feeling sluggish, eating meals that leave you satisfied instead of bloated, experiencing fewer aches and clearer thinking throughout the day. These are not unrealistic goals. They are often the result of simply removing the foods that are quietly working against you. So take a closer look at your daily routine. Are there foods you are eating out of habit because you believe they are healthy? It might be time to question those assumptions, because sometimes improving your health is not about adding more. It is about removing what no longer serves your body. And once you start looking at your daily food choices through this new lens, something interesting begins to happen. You stop trusting labels blindly and you start paying attention to how your body actually feels after eating. That shift alone can transform your health more than any diet plan ever could. Let's go even deeper, because there are a few more healthy foods that deserve a closer look, especially for seniors. Granola. It is often marketed as a heart-healthy, fiber-rich breakfast option. It looks natural, it sounds wholesome, and it is commonly paired with yogurt or milk. But many store-bought granolas are loaded with hidden sugars, refined oils, and calorie-dense ingredients that can do more harm than good when eaten regularly. A small bowl of granola can contain more calories than a full meal, and because it is easy to overeat, those calories add up quickly. For seniors who may not be as physically active as before, this can lead to gradual weight gain without even realizing it. There is also the blood sugar impact. Despite containing oats and nuts, many granolas are coated in sweeteners like honey, syrup, or sugar blends that cause rapid glucose spikes. This can leave you feeling energized for a short time, followed by a noticeable crash. If you enjoy granola, the key is moderation and awareness. Look for versions with no added sugar, or make your own at home so you can control the ingredients. Even better, switch to simple oatmeal with nuts and seeds, which provide steady energy without the hidden extras. Now let's talk about another surprising one. Vegetable oils labeled as heart healthy. You have probably seen labels promoting oils like sunflower oil, corn oil, or soybean oil as better choices for your heart. But many of these oils are highly processed and contain large amounts of omega-6 fatty acids. While your body does need some omega-6, too much can create an imbalance that promotes inflammation. And chronic inflammation is linked to many age-related conditions, including joint pain, heart disease, and cognitive decline. These oils are also often used in packaged foods, meaning you might be consuming them more than you think. Over time, this can quietly affect your overall health. A better approach is to focus on more stable and less processed fats. Options like olive oil, especially extra virgin, or small amounts of traditional fats used in home cooking can be more balanced choices. Now here's another one that catches many people off guard. Breakfast cereals, even the ones labeled as high fiber or whole grain. Many cereals are heavily processed, even if they claim to be made from whole grains. They often contain added sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives. For seniors, this combination can disrupt blood sugar levels and digestion. Even high-fiber cereals can cause issues if they are loaded with additives. Some people experience bloating or discomfort after eating them, especially if their digestive system has become more sensitive with age. Instead of relying on packaged cereals, consider simpler options. Oatmeal, fresh fruits, nuts, and seeds provide natural fiber and nutrients without unnecessary processing. Now here is where everything comes together. It is not just about individual foods, it is about patterns. If your daily routine includes multiple foods that spike blood sugar, promote inflammation, or strain digestion, the effects can add up. You might not notice it immediately, but over time, it shows up as low energy, poor sleep, weight gain, or chronic discomfort. On the other hand, when you start replacing these foods with simpler, less processed options, your body begins to respond. Energy becomes more stable. Digestion feels lighter. Even your mood can improve. There is also something important to understand about appetite and aging. As you get older, your body often requires fewer calories, but more nutrients. This means every meal matters more. Foods that are high in calories but low in nutrients can crowd out the vitamins and minerals your body actually needs. This is why choosing quality over quantity becomes essential. Instead of filling your plate with foods that only provide short-term satisfaction, focus on those that support long-term health. And here is a simple way to think about it. Ask yourself one question before eating something. Is this food supporting my energy, or is it just filling a habit? That one question can guide better decisions without needing complicated rules. Another important factor is hydration. Many seniors do not drink enough water, and sometimes thirst is mistaken for hunger. This can lead to unnecessary snacking, especially on processed, healthy foods. Staying properly hydrated can reduce cravings and support overall health. Also, pay attention to portion sizes. Even healthy foods can become problematic if eaten in excess. Balance is always the goal. Now imagine making these small changes consistently, replacing sugary yogurt with plain yogurt and fruit, swapping fruit juice for whole fruit, reducing processed grains and choosing simpler alternatives, limiting hidden sugars and refined oils. These are not drastic changes, but they can create a powerful shift over time. You may notice that your energy lasts longer throughout the day. Your digestion feels more comfortable. You experience fewer sudden cravings. Even your sleep can improve because your blood sugar levels remain more stable. And perhaps most importantly, you regain a sense of control over your health. Because the truth is, aging does not mean losing vitality. It means adapting your choices to match your body's changing needs. When you do that, your body often responds in ways that feel almost surprising. So instead of chasing every new healthy trend, come back to the basics. Real foods, balanced meals, awareness of how your body reacts. Sometimes the biggest improvements come not from adding something new, but from removing what has been quietly holding you back. Take a look at your next meal. Make one better choice, then repeat it again tomorrow. That is how lasting health is built. And there is one more layer that most people never talk about, but it quietly shapes everything when it comes to food choices after 60. Timing. It is not just what you eat. It is when you eat it and how your body is prepared to handle it. As you age, your body becomes less flexible in adjusting to irregular eating patterns. Late night snacking, skipping meals, or eating heavy foods at the wrong time of day can make even healthy foods work against you. For example, eating high sugar foods like fruit juice or cereal early in the morning without protein or fat can cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. Eating the same foods late at night can disrupt sleep and digestion. This is why two people can eat the same meal and have completely different outcomes depending on timing and balance. So when you start removing these misleading healthy foods, also think about structure. A simple, balanced routine where meals are spaced properly and contain a mix of protein, fiber, and healthy fats can make a huge difference. Now let's talk about something even more practical. What should replace these foods in a real daily routine? Instead of starting your day with cereal or toast, imagine beginning with something that keeps you full and stable. A bowl of oatmeal with nuts and seeds, or eggs with vegetables. These combinations slow down digestion and provide steady energy instead of a quick spike and crash. Instead of reaching for fruit juice, picture having whole fruit with a handful of nuts. You still get natural sweetness, but now it comes with fiber and healthy fats that keep your blood sugar stable. Instead of flavored yogurt, switch to plain yogurt and build your own version. Add fresh fruit, maybe a sprinkle of seeds, and a small touch of natural sweetness if needed. You turn something processed into something nourishing. Instead of cooking with highly processed oils, use simpler fats in smaller amounts and focus more on whole foods that already contain natural fats like nuts, seeds, and certain vegetables. These changes sound small, but they work because they address the root problem: stability. Your body thrives on stability. Stable blood sugar, stable digestion, stable energy. When those three things are in place, many other issues start to improve naturally. And here is something else that often goes unnoticed. Taste itself begins to change as you reduce processed, healthy foods. When you eat less added sugar and fewer artificial flavors, your taste buds reset. Foods that once seemed bland start to feel more satisfying. Natural sweetness becomes more noticeable. This makes it easier to stick with healthier choices without feeling deprived. There is also a mental freedom that comes with this shift. You no longer have to constantly question whether a packaged food is truly healthy or not. You simplify your decisions. Real foods become your default and everything else becomes occasional, and that reduces stress, which is another important factor in overall health. Now let's address something many seniors experience but rarely connect to diet. Energy dips in the afternoon. These dips are often blamed on age, but in many cases they are linked to what was eaten earlier in the day. A breakfast or lunch high in refined carbs or hidden sugars can lead to that midday crash. When you switch to more balanced meals, those crashes often become less severe or disappear entirely. The same applies to cravings. When your blood sugar is unstable, your body keeps asking for quick energy, usually in the form of sugar or processed snacks. When your meals are balanced, those cravings become quieter and easier to manage. And then there is digestion. Many seniors accept bloating, discomfort, or irregular digestion as a normal part of aging, but often it is not age itself. It is the type of foods being consumed. Highly processed, healthy foods can be harder to break down and may irritate the digestive system over time. When you shift towards simpler, whole foods, digestion often becomes smoother. Less bloating, less discomfort, more regularity. These are changes that can significantly improve daily quality of life. Now imagine combining all of this. You wake up and eat a meal that keeps you full and energized. You go through your day without constant cravings or crashes. Your digestion feels comfortable instead of unpredictable. Your energy remains steady, and you do not rely on quick fixes to get through the day. That is not a complicated system. It is a return to what your body actually needs. And here is the most important part. You do not have to change everything at once. In fact, trying to do too much too quickly often leads to frustration and giving up. Instead, start with one thing. Maybe you stop buying fruit juice, or you switch your yogurt, or you reduce how often you eat processed cereals. Just one change done consistently can begin to shift how your body feels, then build from there. Because health after 60 is not about perfection. It is about awareness and consistency, understanding that your body has different needs now, and adjusting your habits to support those needs. And once you do that, you may realize something powerful. You are not losing control as you age. You are gaining the opportunity to take better control by making smarter, more informed choices. So the next time you see a food labeled as healthy, pause for a moment. Look beyond the label. Think about how it fits into your overall routine, your energy, your digestion, your long-term health. Because sometimes the foods you trust the most are the ones quietly holding you back. And when you remove them, even gradually, you create space for your body to function the way it was meant to. Stronger, steadier, and far more resilient than most people expect at this stage of life.